Detroit, BC. What's happening, brother? What's happening? Who else in the building? New Orleans Boxer 504. What's happening, brother? What's going on? Y'all hit that like button as y'all roll through the door, bro. Knockout. What's happening, my brother? Let me do this. Do this right quick. Chat. So we can get started cooking. Lenore Thomas. What's happening, brother? What's happening? There we go. Knockout. I saw that video you put up. Oh, you starting. I see you starting to let your boy know we need more. We need more. Ah, there he is. There go my brother. That's my brother.
Hey, what up, Coach? How you doing, OG?
I'm good, bro. I like that video you put up, bro. I like that.
I got which one you talking about? Cause I don't even know which ones to upload yet. I got like 3 uploading right now that I shot this morning. Which one
The
you talking
one
about?
you did, the one you did telling Tank, hey, bro, tell us to relax. We want to see you in there with some
Oh
with
yeah,
the.
yeah, bro. Shit, I always keep it real.
I saw you while you were talking to your wife, and boy, I like that. I like that. That I had some. I drank that simply watermelon too, bro. That shit
That
good as
shit
hell.
good, boy. Hey,
That
you
shit
see it
good
so
as
good,
hell.
bro.
That
That
shit
shit
good
good.
as hell, bro. I keep my refrigerator with that in it, bro. Keep
I
it.
can't them simplest, bro. That one, they got a peach one, they got a fruit punch, they got bro. I drink all them hoes, but that watermelon, that one be having me hooked, man. That watermelon, that one that good, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And I just wanted to come on and talk boxing and I wanted to talk about all the fighters that's fighting for legacy. Now I heard all of this mess about Dan Raphael. I don't trust nothing Dan Raphael said, and all of these people are putting too much weight into that bullshit that about the fight is almost done with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. What's up, Dub? What's happening?
What up, right
That shit,
side?
man, that shit been, bro. We've been hearing that shit for months, bro. You know what I'm saying? We've been hearing this for months, man. What up, Josh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't until we hear the announcement, bro. I don't. I'm tired of the speculation. I'm tired of it's almost done and all of this bullshit, bro. I don't want to hear that shit. I really don't.
I mean, they telling you it's done without telling you it's done. Though, like if you like, I understand Dan Raphael, but when you add that report to the Mike Coppinger report, to what Earl is saying, what Bud is saying, what Showtime is doing, what Derrick James is saying, what Bud's sister slipped up and said. 'Cause I believe she slipped up when she said, "Don't come ask." She was so hot, and she was trying to take up for her brother when she said, "Don't come asking for autographs. Come fight week." I think she slipped up on that too. So when you read all the tea leaves, like, bro, I think it's reason to be hopeful. I maintain the fight done. They just making fools out of all us and letting us do all the free promotion for their ass, bro.
I mean, it's free promotion, but my thing is, you still have people that have to get hotel rooms and prepare for this. You know, the longer the promotion, the bigger you make it. You know what I'm saying? And they gotta
Yeah.
do a tour. They For a fight like this, they gotta do a tour. You know what I'm saying? They gotta. That's the best way to promote it. It's undisputed. You got two of the best at that division. So you got to promote it the right way, and the longer you have to promote, the better. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, bro, I can. Hey, y'all hit the like button. The best you can. I could care less who win this fight, bro. I mean, people say, "Well, am I leaning towards Arrow?" Yeah, I'm leaning towards Arrow because I like Arrow's attitude, and Bud comes with a lot of a lot of luggage. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
his attitude and all of that type of stuff. Whereas, what up, ETB? What's happening? You know, whereas
Okay, shout out to Key. What's good, bro?
where we don't have to worry about, Errol always keep it the same. His tone, his attitude, everything is always the same. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why you can respect him so much because he always stay the course, like he has blinders on. Whereas Terrence has been all over the place during this whole ordeal. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been consistent, whereas Errol has been consistent on what he's saying he's gonna do, on his behavior, everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he's a does Terrence Crawford have the ability to beat Errol Spence? Absolutely. We know that. That's why it's a 50-50 fight to me. As far as skill, you know. Shit, man.
Yeah,
I
I
just
agree.
wanted to
I
come
agree with
on.
all of that about him. Yeah, I agree with him about being like more consistent with his words and his actions, not leading fans. You know, 1 minute he's saying this, 1 minute he's saying that. I agree with all of that, bro. I do. I just, for me, the moment that Terrence Crawford left Top Rank, I became hopeful. The moment that he did an interview with Showtime, knowing his ass don't like to talk to anybody, I became hopeful, bro. And
Ricky.
I'm staying away until they tell me that, otherwise. Ricky, what's up? Hey, Boxing
Crazy.
Die popping big shit. He popping big shit about you, Rick. He said he about to come over there and cook tomorrow. I can't wait to see y'all brothers go at it. But yeah, man, for me, coach, I'm in the state right now where I'm just choosing to look at everything as a whole, and as a whole, I feel like boxing is telling us we get in this fight. Like maybe Dan Raphael is full of shit, but Dan Raphael and Mike Coppinger full of shit. Okay, maybe they both full of shit, but Earl full of shit too when he guaranteed that the fight is gonna happen this year. Okay, maybe Earl, Dan Raphael, and Mike Coppinger full of shit, but all three of them and Terrence Crawford full of shit. Okay, all four of them are full of shit, but Derrick James full of shit too. Okay, all five of them full of shit, but Letitia Crawford full of shit too. Like I just like for me, bro, like it's just too much pointing towards us getting this fight. Is all I'm
I
trying to
mean,
say.
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm gonna stay optimistic until you know what I'm saying. I'm hopeful. I'm just not gonna take the word of that fat bastard, Dan Raphael. I'm just not. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I can't stand that dude. I can't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't stand it when he was at ESPN. The racism just seeds out his fat ass pores. You know what I'm saying? So he really did get under my skin like, a lot, especially reading articles and his behavior during interviews. You know what I'm saying? So I never liked that guy. So, but I just wanted to come on here and just I wanted to give kudos to the fighters that they really want to fight and become champions and fight for their legacy. That's all, you know. And I ain't taking nothing away from you, boy, because I don't feel like getting in an argument with you today.
Nah, I ain't here to argue. I give credit where credit is due. I ain't here to argue, man. I'm here
I
to
just
support you and cook on whatever the topic is. I ain't here to debate you, coach.
I appreciate it. You know, I put Canelo Alvarez in the description because no matter if you like him, you hate him, you don't like the way he moves, he still has become undisputed champion of the world, and he got the biggest name in boxing. So you got to give him his credit. I can't take that away from him. Now, the route that he took to become undisputed and the routes he's taken to seal his legacy, you have Mexican fighters that don't respect it. You know what I'm saying? From the Julio Cesar Chavez to the Juan Manuel Marquez, who they don't see him the way American Mexicans see him. What up, Teach? What's happening, brother? You know what I'm saying? You don't he the routes he has taken. I don't respect that part. Do I respect that he's done what he's done? Yeah, I respect it, but I just what up, Darius? What's happening, brother? I don't respect the way he moved in the game, but he's still gonna be in the Hall of Fame. We know that he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. He's the first 168-pound um, undisputed champion in the full belt era. So you gotta give him his props on that. Sir Ambo, what's happening, bro? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta respect that part, even though I'm not a big Canelo fan because he won't fight the best every fight. And just like you said in your video, knockout, with with being a man and all of this, it's comes great responsibility. You can't just what's up, Daryl? What's happening, bro? You can't just give us mediocre fights. When you become the man with the money, you the man with the networks, you can jump and go from here to there, then the fans deserve to see the best fights. And that's one thing. Now, the last fight that he had, I know a lot of people didn't really know who Bivol was, but I knew who he was. That's why I picked him. And I know the thing, I've seen him when he was an amateur, I've seen him as a pro, and I saw the skill level. So I will say this, that last fight that he fought, that guy was definitely a threat, Now, this fight that's coming up, I think Canelo should win. But like I said earlier, I said on the other broadcast before, we never know if GGG is going to turn back the hands of time and give Canelo a hard test or beat him, because you really see the blueprint that Bivol said. But does Triple G have the legs to pull it off? That's my thing. So what you think, Knockout?
Man, look, on Canelo, bro, like everything you said was spot on. The thing is, like, we can be critical of his decisions. Like you said towards the end, like, the criticism comes with when you can do whatever you want and you choose to do what the fans ain't asking you to do. So when you can fight anybody you want and fans are calling for this fight over here, but you fight that fight over there, that's where the criticism comes in. But if we talking about accomplishments and fighting for legacy, that's why, I talk about guys like Demetrius Andrade. I talk about guys like Jamal Charlo. I criticize Tank when Tank it deserves criticism, because ain't no way Canelo can do all of that and we criticize him for his moves, but then look at those other fighters and not criticize them, because that's how you'll know that the criticism comes for hate. I think people misconstrue it and think that someone like myself, that I hate Canelo. It ain't that I hate Canelo. I just hold him to the same standard that I hold everybody else to, and that's to fight the fights we want to see and fight the best competition. But in terms of fighting for legacy, you can't deny a multiple division champion that has been undisputed at one weight class. And at the end of the day, like, Jamal Charlo fighting fucking Montiel, then he was gonna backdoor with Sulecki. Now we all want Jamal Charlo to get his shot at Canelo Alvarez, but Canelo Alvarez fought Dimitri Bivol, lost, and he's backdooring it with Triple G. For whatever you say about Triple G ducking all these dudes at 160, which I agree with, whatever you say about him, not fighting the fights that we want to see as well, I agree with. But what you can't deny is that man can fight. And for Canelo to take on somebody like him coming off of a loss, I mean, that's, it's a lot of question marks in that fight. So I agree with everything that you're saying. The only issue that you can have for Canelo is just, bro, like, it's certain fighters out there that we've been asking you to fight for years. Benevidez just came along. I understand that, but bro, people been trying to get you to fight Demetrius Andrade since you was at 154, dog. And same with Jamal Charlo. Like, at what point do the fans matter and we get what we want? And I think that's the frustration with people like myself, is that all these other sports and shit, you don't have to ask for that shit, bro. It's just like we over here begging and shit. I think that's part of the reason. I don't want to speak for you, but that's part of the reason fans such as yourself, like, man, look, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, shit, if the shit happened, I want it to happen. When they announce it and it's official, that's when I believe it. Like, fight fans are so scared to fucking be hopeful, bro, because it's like, damn, y'all done jaded us so many times. I'm so used to not getting what I want. Now that it's even looking like, and I can see all these damn tea leaves on the wall and look like I might get what I want, man, I still don't believe y'all ass till I see it. And it sucks that boxing is in that place, but that's kind of where they at, bro. But everything you said with Canelo was spot on, man. And y'all hit this man like button, man, and sub up to the channel and shit, man.
Lenard Thomas. What do I think about the two? I think that Derek James is 1,000% better trainer than Bowman. And the reason I say that is because you can see the way Derek James trains, and he has a real attention for details, and he teaches fighters to take advantage and take away that another fighter does best. Brian Bomack, I think that the guys that's in his gym who trains Terrence Crawford also, I think they're a lot better. I think he's just the face as far as being Terrence Crawford's manager. But can Bomack actually put in the work? Can Bomack actually hold pads and move around the ring? Can Bomack, he could tell you what to do, but I mean, even if you look at the box records out of the two fighters, it's no comparison. And really, you don't really have to be a great boxer to be a great trainer. We all know that, but that's not his ability to make adjustments during the fight. I don't think he's anywhere close to Derek James. And I really like the way that Derek James trains. I like the way he teaches fighters to hit openings. They don't waste punches. They don't just throw punches just to throw punches. Only time you see Errol throw punches just to throw punches is because he's trying to do something else so he can get another punch in, or where he know that he has your ass. Then he gonna just start letting them flat beat you on your arms and everywhere else. But I don't think it's any comparison. I don't think that you can come close. Just look at the accomplishments that, I mean, he got an undisputed champion. He got a 3-time champion who can have the possibility to become an undisputed also. So having those credentials in your gym is, I mean, that's big stuff right there. So I think that Derek James is just like he said, just like I'll give you an example. The plan to beat Mikey Garcia was the jab. Keep making him stay occupied with your jab, and everything else is gonna open up. So it kept Mikey Garcia on a defense, and Errol Spence used his length. He used his nice jab to cause Mikey Garcia to become very defensive in that fight. Then when he felt that power and the work rate, then it was, he didn't have a shot after. So that's my thoughts on that. You got anything, Knockout?
No, man, everything you said was all facts. It's just the only thing I'd add, Lenore, is the trust. Like when Bud Crawford started speaking over Bomac, when he was trying to train Maurice Hooker in that corner, a lot of people ain't gonna catch this, or they may agree or may disagree. But if you a fighter or you in any sport and you trust the coach, you ain't talking over him and shit. It's a level of respect there. It's a level of trust. You're going to let him do his thing because you know he's going to say the right thing. You trust him to motivate you. You trust him to get your teammate, who is Maurice Hooker, who's in the camp with him. You trust him to get him right and shit. Terrence didn't like something that he was hearing, bro. He ain't like something that he was hearing. He ain't like what he was seeing. And so he butted in. And Bomac didn't even stop him. Bomac didn't say a word. It ain't like Bud told him to shut up. But when Bud started talking, Bomac was quiet as a church mouse. Now, Terrence Bud Crawford, Maurice Hooker, they cool. Like, I'm sure they consider themselves to be brothers or whatever. He in the camp, but that ain't Terrence Crawford fighting. That's Maurice Hooker fighting. So if Terrence Crawford don't trust Bomac to give instructions to Maurice Hooker, what makes you believe that when push comes to shove, Terrence Crawford is going to trust Bomac to give him instructions in his own goddamn fight? So he's going into the fight with a huge disadvantage because you got one fighter that's going to trust and listen to their coach. He's going to listen to the adjustments. And then you got another fighter that's basically going to go in that bitch and try to make adjustments and do shit on his own. So he's at a huge disadvantage from that regard if we're just talking about in the corner, bro. You know what I'm saying? That just shows how cold Bud is. That shows how raw he is, how good of a fighter he is to get this far with that little instruction at the highest level. Because at this point, at the point that Bud is at, this is where corners and coaches and shit, they matter, bro. Like, you ain't just finna go in there and just be better than the people that you fighting at this level. Now you're gonna have some good coaching, some good game plans. They're gonna have to train you right. So man, if you ain't giving the nod to Derrick James in terms of who the better trainer is, I would question your boxing knowledge, bro. To be real with y'all.
I mean, you never see Errol Spence when Jamal fighting, or if um, Frank Martin fighting. You don't never see Errol Spence getting up on the ring apron and got to help out. You don't see that.
Yeah, and Frank Martin is a man down fighter, so Errol Spence is monetarily invested in Frank Martin.
Right.
Fucking Maurice Hooker, not a Terrence Bud Crawford Promotions fighter. So he ain't even monetarily invested in him. He's still jumping up there giving goddamn instructions. Errol Spence is just chilling, cheering for Frank Martin from the goddamn stands because he trusts Derrick James so much. That trust shit, when you in the trenches, man, that shit matter, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all, dog. Like, it's not even close, man. I don't even know. Like, people, like, I understand when they wasn't fighting each other and Bud was knocking shit out, but maybe a year or two ago, this was a conversation people were having. But after what these two trainers have shown in the last 2 years, last year and a half, I don't even think this should be a conversation anymore for reasonable people, bro. If you're looking at everything factual and not emotional, man.
You know, I left another guy out that was in the in the description, and
Yeah, who that?
I have to give him his credit. I have to give this man his credit, and that's Alexander Usyk. I have to give Alexander Usyk.
Oh yeah, how could you give him all? That's facts. That's big facts, bro.
I have to. I'll just right now. It just crossed my mind. I have to give Alexander Usyk his credit. Alexander Usyk was he was undisputed at cruiserweight. He's moved up to heavyweight and want to fight the best. Who had the belts? AJ. And he went there and he's done his thing. And what's even more impressive is he went home, defended his country, and they say he was on the front lines in Kyiv or whatever it is. And now he's back. And he got Anthony Joshua in a couple weeks. So this man is fighting for legacy. This man, and it's impressive. This is impressive. I don't care if he green, purple, orange, blue. I don't give a shit. That is fucking impressive. The things that Alexander Usyk is doing is impressive. You got to give this man all the props in the world. Give him. He has never ducked smoke from nobody. Never. He's always wanted to fight the best, and he's showing it. That's one thing. I don't know how I left Alexander Usyk off this list. So that's all I got on that. That motherfucker, bad motherfucker. I give him his credit all day long.
Coach, he's so bad. He's so bad, Coach. Like, everything you said is facts, but just to drive the point you making home, every belt that he ever won and every belt that he ever defended, he did it in that person's home country, bro. Yeah. Like the shit that we like, and shout out to Devin, because we're gonna talk about him a little later. Like, Devin went over there to Australia, he did his thing. Alexander Usyk did that for every belt that he ever got. And he went and did it belt by belt by belt. He had to win one belt at a time, bro. So all through his run at cruiserweight, when he went to go get undisputed, and then when he defended against Tony Bellew, he did all of that shit in somebody else's home country. Then the definition of fucking pound for pound is like, yo, if these fighters was heavyweights, this is how they would do against the opposition. Alexander Usyk said, well, you know what? You ain't got to wonder what if. You don't have to worry about what I would do if I was a heavyweight versus a heavyweight. I'm just going to move up and I'm going to fight the heavyweight champion. And he fought the heavyweight champion in his home country, almost stopped him. Yeah, almost stopped him. And then now he's about to, he took a year off almost because he fought him in September last year. He took a year off, not to go, you know what I'm saying, get married. He wasn't trying to have a baby or nothing like that. He took a year off to go fight in the war. And now he's coming back and he's going to fight that same heavyweight champion again, bro. Alexander Usyk is his dog, bro. And he is the quintessential definition of what you're talking about, Coach. And that's all I got, man.
Man, Alexander Usyk is a dog, bro. He is a true dog. Don't duck no smoke from nobody, bro. I think that's impressive. It's impressive. I see there. What um teach Sir Amble, what about Canelo's comments about Benevidez? He said Bivol was a harder fight. Do you think Canelo would do better against him? Canelo would get fucking destroyed. I mean, literally beat half to death against Benevidez. That's my thoughts on it. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't see it. I do not see it. I see him getting fucking destroyed against Benevidez. The man is too strong. He's too big. He's too strong, and he punches too hard. Yeah. See. This is what people don't understand. These are human beings, bro. They act like Canelo is not a human being, bro. He is a human being. He can be hurt.
No.
He bleeds. He cut. He's gonna get pounded out if he fuck around and fight Benevidez. Y'all can forget that shit. It ain't gonna never happen. That's too much of a
Yeah,
threat.
he ain't fighting him either.
No.
Yeah, he ain't fighting him. Ain't nothing to add to that. Canelo ain't got no feet. He'll have to end up sitting down and fighting with Beterbiev. Good luck. Good luck. Beterbiev beat the shit out of that dude, man. He better leave Beterbiev alone. And he better look, he need to leave Bivol alone. Bivol might stop his ass if they fight again, bro. He might stop, like, just leave Bivol, leave Beterbiev alone. Leave them to each other. Leave them to each other. He don't want no smoke with them, bro. Beterbiev fuck around, start smiling if Canelo hit him, and then just proceed to beat his ass, bro. Like, leave Beterbiev alone. He can box his ass out, and he's just so strong. His shit hit like baseball bats, man. Look, leave the man alone, bro. Leave that man alone.
Nah, he not fucking around with no Benevidez. Man, that shit ain't gonna happen, bro. Benevidez will destroy Canelo. It's not even. It won't even be a close fight, and I really don't think it'll go past 6 rounds. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he would destroy him. Like he would stop him within 6 rounds.
With that gas tank issue he got too, coach, that getting tired and shit. You fuck around, get tired against Beterbiev, bro.
Bro, he gonna kill you.
Out of here, bro.
He gonna catch a body, bro. He gonna catch a body for real. Like, man, it's no comparison. He gonna do. You know what it's gonna look like? It's gonna look just like it looked this weekend with Virgil Ortiz, but it probably be worse with Virgil Ortiz and McKenzie. It'll be that kind of fight. That's what would happen. He would literally start getting walked down and beat up terribly. That's what would happen. That's the way I see that fight happening. Especially if you can't hurt him. If you can't hurt him, and you know, let's see. What's up, brother?
How you doing, Coach? Knockout?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I thought I'd just hop on here and talk some boxing with you guys. Coach, I was introduced to you by BF. I've seen you on his channel many, many times, and big fan, sir. So, newly subscriber to you both. And
appreciate it.
Knockout. I like your view, your POV of boxing, man. I just started following you yesterday. I enjoyed that conversation about Tank and all the other stuff you guys are talking about. But I thought I'd just hop in here and say what's up and see what's good. I see we're talking about Canelo, right? Is that right?
Yeah, we going through a list of people that's fighting for legacy. That want to be champion.
Well, Canelo.
I didn't get your name. What's your name?
I'm Stefan. Nice
to meet you. I saw you on somebody else's panel. I forgot who it was, though.
Probably Fanon. I'm a big Fanon follower, big Fanon guy. BF, I'm always showing up on his stuff. And Moni Brown, shout out to Moni.
That's who I saw it on. It was
Money.
Can't forget the mustache, right?
yeah, that's what it was, man. I remember that. So we just that's right, Keith. Canelo better stay his ass at 168. To be honest with you, he gonna my opinion on him at 168. So he's avoiding fights there. So like I said before, the shit is just unfair that Triple G getting an opportunity to be undisputed champion of the world at 168 pounds when He has never fought no one at 168 pounds, and he just have an opportunity to jump over everybody. And he won't even fight everybody at 160. So what gives him, what how come he gets all of these opportunities when you got fighters that's at 160 and David Benevidez at 168 that he gets to jump over him? And I just don't find that shit fair at all. So, but they allow Canelo to do whatever you want to do. I just don't see that being right, especially when you got guys who's been working their ass off through the weight classes at 168, and just like Benavidez, he fought 3 title eliminators. So it shouldn't be Canelo get to do what he wants, but it is what it is, and we can't do shit about it. So,
Well, Coach, for starters, we've been just talking about Canelo specifically. We've been knowing this for 8 months now. All year. That's the deal he signed up for, to face Bivol first, and then of course Triple G, and then he's got a third option there. So, and then he chose this over what Showtime was offering. Same money, but just harder resume given the Charlo, Benavidez, and Errol. So, and then you fast forward to this fight. It's a voluntary defense, and I'm with you. Triple G probably does deserve this, but he was afforded this chance by signing up to fight for Canelo. Now, I think Saul wins, right? I don't expect him to knock him out. He didn't do that the first 2 times, but I expect him to win. And then he's over there on the application, right? He's on an app, so his numbers are probably very mixed, probably on the negative side. And I think he cares about that, but he doesn't care about that since he's got guaranteed money and $30-40 million, whatever they're paying him. And we shall see. I think the belts will probably get broken up. And like you said, Coach, there's a bunch of guys right behind him who wants to fight him. Specifically Charlo and Benevidez, So he'll have to fight those guys. I think why he'll have to, because the money's going to be there. And long as there's pressure coming from the other side, and those guys, if their promotions will press forward, then we shall see that.
Jay Grant, what's happening, brother? I don't see it happening. I don't see it because those are fights that I don't see him getting in the ring with Benavidez. With Benavidez. I don't see it. Jamal Charlo, now at 154, he chased Canelo. At 160, he chased Canelo. But I say the same thing. If Canelo's fighting at 168, nobody deserved to fight more, to me, at 168, because Charlo hasn't fought at 168 either. He's been a 160-pound fighter. And I don't think that shit is fair, that you get to jump the line and you get to fight at 168. Now, if Canelo was in 160, then fine. You deserve to fight more. But as far as I just don't see any one of those guys, especially when you got a guy who's calling out Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andre at 168, and y'all refusing to fight him. And he's putting you on blast. It's not like he's sitting there and going, I'll fight whoever. Nah. Y'all see his name. He like Candyman. He show up. Oh, this is what you want? I'm going to give your ass all the smoke you want. Let's make the fight. And then you go, nah, I'm a 160-pound fighter. But you'll move up at 168. That's some bullshit. You see what I'm saying?
But Coach, let me interject something. And I know this isn't sexy, but the business of boxing, that's been a hot, it's been a hot tamale. It's been a hot subject for the better part of all summer. And I just had this conversation with my own boxing circles, and I would say all year lately, and kind of because of the Spence Crawford saga-ness going on, the business of boxing is right there back in the focal. It's right there back in the middle of things, and and I know a lot of us don't like that subject, but that's what tells all, that's what rules all, and that's what will make these fights feasible. Now, I said all that to say this. What's that? Charlo, I said this a long time ago too. he can move up and fight whomever and won't have to vacate his 60 title. Um, I still double down on it. He doesn't have. He can move up and fight those guys if need be, and come back down to 60 if need be. Now we run into an issue because with the trio of Errol and Jamel all moving up and whatnot. Who knows when and if they'll do that? I don't think it will affect the game, the chessboard, but I don't think it'll affect it too much. Coming back to my original point that he won't have to vacate if need be. Same thing with Andre. He's still got a belt at 60, doesn't have to vacate. He can just make those fights, man. These are especially if the networks are willing to pay for it, right? We'll just have to wait. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see, man. I definitely want those fights, man. I think Canelo, I know you disagreed just moments ago, but I think he's gonna have to fight those guys. He's gonna have to, man. He's really robbing them of the moment, and he's robbing them of their Hall of Fame credentials, and furthermore, just that's basic integrity of boxing. You're taking that away from those guys. Now they should be fighting each other, and they should be fighting other guys. But I don't make too much gripe with Jamal. He's a perfect example because look, man, he's a champion first off, and I think a champion should defend his belt, whomever they put in front of him, whether it's voluntary or whether they come up through those corrupt rankings. The good guys are in bed with the bad guys are in bed with the good guys. That's just what it is. And he's right now, I think. I heard some recent comments of him. He wants to fight all those guys who he recently called out because, he wants that type of smoke. I think he's kind of buying into what a lot of people are saying and what his inner circles are telling him. But, he'll be ready, man. He'll be ready.
I mean,
you were going to say something, Knockout?
No, I was just listening to y'all. I was saying, what's up to Poor Counter? Poor Counter, what's up?
I don't.
Only thing I'll say, go ahead, Coach. My bad. Do you think?
No. Go ahead, Knockout. Go ahead.
No, only thing I would say about like the business of boxing and these guys not having to drop belts. Andrade's already been ordered to fight Janabek, and it seemed like he's running from that fight. So him moving up to 168, they tried to give him an opportunity to move up to 168 to fight Zach Parker. He got quote unquote hurt. That's what we're going with because he said he got hurt, although we haven't seen any proof of that. Like we hardly ever see proof of any of these fighters, but he got hurt. He had to pull out of the Zach Parker fight, and now they're saying you got to fight Janabek or vacate. So if Demetrius Andrade is looking to do anything, it needs to be that so that he can keep his belt because he's already having a hard time getting fights with the WBO 160-pound fight. If he somehow loses that belt, whether it be to Janabek or whether it be because they make him vacate it and strip him, then he's gonna be even more of a non-factor. As far as Jamal Charlo, man, look, I'm from Dallas, Texas. It's Texas all day, but he been full of it, bro. Like the people he calling out. So if we just run down the list of people that he calling out, he called out in his most recent comments. Number one, he was sipping on that scissor. He was drunk as hell. He was on his IG live. He was responding to a fan first and foremost. But secondly, if we just run through the names he calling out, he said Chris Eubanks Jr. Well, Chris Eubanks Jr. is already about to finalize a fight with Conor Benn. That's been well reported. He said David Benevidez. Well, David Benevidez responded to him, and Jamal Charlo ain't said shit since. He's been quiet. I ain't heard nothing about him since he said David Benevidez's name. Then he said Demetrius Andrade, the same Demetrius Andrade that already pulled out of a PBC fight years ago, and we all know how petty Al Heyman is. Plus, Demetrius Andrade, again, has a mandatory that he has to fulfill. So I just don't know how serious Jamal Charlo is about making big fights if it's not Canelo Alvarez. So it kind of is what it is. Hopefully we get to see him, but if him and Andrade were going to unify, my guess is they would have been done it by now. I don't think they have any interest in each other because they don't want to risk potentially a Canelo payday. So
now, Knockout, I want to give you some excuses to those. I want to give you some excuses, sir. To Demetrius Andrade, I know he's got one fight left, whether it be Zach Parker or Janabek. That can be worked out via ESPN or DAZN. However, if he decides to, let's say, fight Charlo, I know that unifications trump mandatories in that situation. So it's to be announced or to be seen. With Benevidez, I guess we could say he's ducking him, right? However, you know, the networks want that fight. They want to provide that, give that to the fans, and they want to make money off that. Vice versa for the fighters as well. I just think Jamal doesn't want to do that right now or in the near future, say the next 12 to 18 months. I don't think he wants to do that because I think right now, currently, there's a lot of things in his head and a lot of things that are coming from his mouth and they're, like I said, in his circles. So he wants to kind of how should I say, deal with the 60 discrepancies right now, and whether that be undisputed or unifying at 60. So I think he wants to put Benevidez on the back burner. Benevidez, gosh, man, I mean,
Miss Gina.
I mean,
Johnson,
what can I
up?
say? First off, I think Benevidez is the man. I think he's the best 68 pounder, and I don't see anyone in that weight class, including Canelo's, winning and beating him. I think he ultimately stops all of them, including the bigger names. He's just bigger, faster, stronger, and more than likely will flatline a lot of those guys. Just, you know, his concern is that he wants to be a champion again, right? He wants to put the gold around his waist again. And Canelo's kind of holding that up. So hopefully Showtime can entice or PBC can entice Canelo once more and get him over there, man, and get that fight going. And those are my excuses. So
I mean, I feel you, bro. Here's the issue with the unification trumping mandatories. Typically, you'd be right, but Bob Arum trumps all when it comes to the WBO. That's his shit. Like, they do whatever he tell them to do, and if he is pushing for that Janabek fight for Andrade,
is he the knockout?
Yeah.
He is? Okay. I just haven't heard or seen anything. And
if he's pushing for that fight for Janabek, and the matchmakers are telling him that that's a good fight, because he wouldn't push for the fight. WBO wouldn't mandate that fight without Top Rank wanting that fight, number one. And Top Rank wouldn't want that fight unless his matchmakers are telling him Janabek is gonna beat the shit out of Demetrius Andrade for whatever reason. So they usually would, but when it's the WBO involved, I don't really trust that, because they typically move at the behest of Bob Arum. So I'm kind of gonna hold and wait on that one. As far as Charlo, that's just my issue with him, man. Like, all the stuff you named, and then the thing that you're saying he putting on the back burner is the one guy that's actually under the same promotional banner from him. So all the stuff that he's making a priority right now are the fights that are the most difficult to make. Like, Canelo Alvarez is not a PBC fighter. That's difficult to make. Y'all already offered him $100 million, and he said no. You offered that man $100 million. He said, nah, I'm gonna go do this shit over here. And then you talking about Chris Eubanks Jr. again, Sky Sports, DAZN, Demetrius Andrade still got one fight left on DAZN. So all of these options that Jamal Charlo are trying to put first above David Benevidez, they all are the fights that are the most difficult ones to make. When you got a guy that fights under the PBC that didn't call your name. Everybody keep making, like, and I'm not saying you doing this, everybody keep making excuses for Jamal Charlo, but in both instances, last year and this year, Jamal Charlo called David Benevidez out first, bro. Like, David Benevidez is the one just responded. Jamal Charlo last year, I snap his neck. Man,
another excuse, though, knockout. Another excuse. I think Jamal was just talking, B. He was trying to keep his name out there. I'm not saying he's afraid of the guy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he was trying to keep his name out there.
When they got into it. So when they got into it at the Errol Spence fight, it's serious. It's not like they playing around, bro. He ain't just talking. Okay. And you know, David Benevidez is the type of cat. If you talking shit, he gonna come. He gonna come and he gonna check you on it. So my thing is, Jamal Charlo, he seemed like every time, because the first time when he said the shit, he had been drinking. You can tell. You know, you get a sip of courage, and then next thing you know, you want to come up and start running your mouth. And then when you get checked, you clam up or you make excuses. You know, so I can't respect that. I don't respect no guy that does that.
I feel you, like, real quick, Key, you won. I said you won. You got a 1-0 record, bro. You won that debate. It was some people trying to say you lost. You only lost the third round, but you won the debate, bro. All the votes was in. You won that hoe, man. I never said you lost, bro. You got the dub. You got the W, man. You know, good job.
Kirk, I
But yeah,
gotta
coach,
wait
you
till I get monetized. I gotta get 1,000 subscribers before I can be monetized to have a super chat. So that's how the way. That's the way
you
YouTube
gonna
is
get
set
there
up.
too. Y'all sub up to the channel and smash the like button for the OG, man.
So
He putting in that work.
my whole
Again,
thing is this. My whole thing is this. You know, this is what happened that screwed everything up. When Caleb Plant had that belt and Canelo wanted that title, Al Heyman, and the PBC should have made him sign a 2-fight deal or a 3-fight deal. They messed up and gave him whatever he wanted because he really played him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was saying, "Yeah, I'll fight Jamal Charlo and Benevidez after I fight Caleb Plant." Well, they didn't tie him down, and that's what they should have did. Either you're gonna take this deal or you're not gonna get an opportunity to be undisputed. They should have hung it over his head, and they should have been like, "What? No, you're not gonna come over here." And then next thing you know, you're gonna run back to Eddie Hearn, and that's exactly what he did. It was a horrible business move, and you rarely see Al Heyman make moves like that. Now, did he make a bunch of money up front? Yeah, he did. But you could have made even more money if you would have tied Canelo down and made him commit to fighting Jamal Charlo and David Benavidez. So that's where everything got screwed up.
Okay,
So
that's true and fair, sir. Yes, sir. I agree.
You know,
I'm
that's
all in
the
agreement
problem.
with that.
Because soon as this shit was over, where he became undisputed, look what he's done. Now he went over there and picked a bad cherry that left a sour taste in his mouth, got his ass whipped. But the whole
Historic
point is,
ass whooping.
yeah, it wasn't in his benefit to do something like that. It wasn't in Al Heyman and the PBC's benefit. Now he's taken a belt and just gone off. And you had this belt in your camp, in your possession. The PBC had those belts. So what's happening, Bay Area, bro? What's happening? So you know that was a bad business move, and we wouldn't have all of this turmoil and Triple G being able to jump the line if they would have made the right business move and made Canelo either. If you want to be undisputed, this is what you have to do, and that would have been the end of it. You know, you were not going to breach the contract, or we're going to take you to court, or whatever the case may be. So that was the biggest mistake that they made. So, I want to move on to the next guy. We'll move on to Errol Spence. I'm gonna hold my homeboy for last. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold my Anthony Joshua. Salute, brother. I'm gonna hold my homeboy for last. Errol Spence. He's fighting for legacy. He want all the smoke with everybody. On his way up to the top, he fought everybody they put in front of him. We saw him and Lamont Peterson sit on the stage, and he said, "Now this man had to step up. He's a WBA regular champ, but he had to step up because," and he named names: Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. None of y'all want to fight me, and this man stepped up. So I respect and I thank Lamont Peterson. So Errol Spence had a mission in mind. He fighting for legacy. And now we down to this, the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence saga that's going on, because I call it a saga. I call it a soap opera, because we having trouble making this fight. So that's how I look at it. I look at this as a big saga. How Triple G say, big drama show. 817, what's happening, bro? I find this to be utterly appalling, and we know who's holding this fight up. We know it. And how do we know that? If we can deduce this in our head and understand business, Terrence Crawford has no promoter. Terrence Crawford has no channels, no media outlet. Terrence
Yeah,
Crawford
ain't got no damn
has
network.
nothing but the WBO belt. Now let's use some common sense, people. This is what we're gonna do. Who is going to make the offer? So whatever they offering, Errol Spence probably has already agreed to it because it's coming from his side. If you're going to send a contract or a term sheet or whatever the case may be to someone, that means you agree to do this already, right? Because you're the one sending it to them. Everything that's put in there, you already agreed to. So we know that Errol Spence side has already signed this contract or term sheet or whatever y'all want to call it, because I know people in here, they got people that'll get all technical and all this bullshit, right? So Errol Spence knows what he's getting because it's coming from his team. So we know who's holding up the fight. The fight is being held up by Terrence Crawford because of, number one, greed. He don't believe in his abilities the way he's supposed to, because if he did, this fight would be announced. He would already be sign the contract. Sign the contract. If you believe in your skills and you're really fighting for legacy. Now, don't get me wrong. Terrence Crawford already has a legacy. He's already in the Hall of Fame because he's undisputed champion at 140 pounds. Not the only one now because of Machina. What's happening, babe? How you doing? So
Is that Devin?
Because no, Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is a 140-pound undisputed champion. So
is Devin, the coach.
At 135. Devin at 135. 140 pounds. So you already in the Hall of Fame. But to build your legacy even more, and to be the only man in the history of boxing, especially in the full belt era, you can be the undisputed champion at 147 and 140 pounds. That's unheard of. That's unheard of. Now, and also, you're going to make more money than you've ever made, and you got generational wealth that will change your whole family and your grandkids. It will change everything. And you having a problem making this fight when you have another guy named Devin Haney who took, because he wanted legacy, went across seas, took less money than he ever would take, and he went and became undisputed champion. So now you got to give Errol Spence his props. Errol Spence has been direct. He said what he was going to do, and he did exactly what he said he wanted to do. I'm going to clean up my side of the street. I want all the smoke on his way up. He want all the smoke. Couldn't get all the smoke because you had motherfuckers that, once again, didn't believe in their abilities. Didn't believe that they were good enough. Because if they would have fought him. If they did, they would have fought him. Now, eventually, they fought him because he became the money man in 147. So we know what's in there in these fighters' minds. The ones who wouldn't fight him early. It was the money. It was the money. Don't get me wrong. You are a prize fighter. You are a prize fighter. So I understand that part. But also, when you already rich and everything, you more fighting for the money because you wouldn't test your skills and say, you know what, I can beat him. And this is what I see that's going on with Terrence Crawford. So I shout out to Errol Spence. He's done everything he was supposed to do. He's the one making the offer. Terrence Crawford is holding up the fight. But shout out to Errol Spence. That's all I got on Errol Spence. Knockout.
Man, I agree with everything you said. Look, Earl fighting for legacy. He deserved to be on the list. Anybody that's unified, like, I don't want to take nothing away from Devin Haney, and I'm not going to, or nothing away from what Terrence Bud Crawford did against Julius and Ndongo. But to me, in my opinion, it's just something about like what Alexander Usyk did. It's something about even what Canelo did at 168. It's something about what Earl is trying to do. Like that, I'm going to collect the undisputed title one belt at a time. I'm going to go belt by belt by belt by belt. And I'm going to get these one at a time. And I'm going to beat all the champions versus I'm gonna beat the guy who got 2 belts. I'm gonna beat the guy who got 3 belts, and bam, I'm undisputed in one fight. I'm unified in one fight. Earl went over to UK. He beat Kell Brook, got him for the IBF. He went over there with Sean Porter. Sean Porter had the WBC. He took his shit. He went over there to Eugenio Ugas, who just beat Manny Pacquiao, who had the WBA. He took his shit. Now he trying to go take Terrence Crawford WBO, but it's just something about that just it sit right with me. So I can't disagree with nothing you said. He deserved to be on the pound for pound list. Mr. Mechanical, what's good? A1 Hoops on, A17, the homie New. What's up, bro? Salute to everybody. Y'all smash Coach like button, man. Don't short the OG on his likes, bro. Don't short the OG on his likes, and y'all all need to be subscribed to him if you hadn't hit his subscribe button too, because he doing a great job. We gotta get OG up there. He deserves for everybody to hear his content and for him to get monetized as soon as possible. So we gotta push for the OG, man. But yeah, man, everything you said about Earl Spence was 100%, 1000% correct. As far as who holding up the fight, we already been over what I think. I think this shit done. They just making fools out of all of us, and we about to get an announcement soon. I think the shit done. I think it's signed. I just think they just choosing to wait till they drop that PBC fall schedule. But as far as Errol Spence being on the list, you can't deny that shit, man. Anybody that's going for undisputed the way that he's going for undisputed at one of the hardest, most talented divisions in boxing, they got to be on the list, bro. So I'm with you. I got you, and I agree. And that's all I got, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Like you two gentlemen, I'm in agreement too. However, yes, there is however. However, I don't think we're going to get the fight. This was my initial opinion. Spence Ugas. I wish I were at that fight, but a bunch of my family were at that fight. And like you, Knockout, I'm from Dallas too, man. I'm from Plano. But what's that? After Errol won, man, I took a step back. I kind of had this boxing epiphany, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, this dude right here is big time. You know, he's on Broadway now. He's on the big time now. He's pay-per-view status. You know, he's the money guy. When he approaches or when he comes to the table, we know it's going to be something big. That was my initial thought after that. Then comes Terrence Crawford and Undisputed. I said before even Errol got in the ring with Ugas, I said it's going to be tough to make that fight because I just think Terrence is in a bad spot right now. And I know right now with what's going on with him is very popular and very hot topic and all that. And I'll go back to Porter real fast, and I'll make a long story short. After he fought Porter and beat Porter, he literally told the camera who's the best welterweight, yada yada yada, and that I don't even need Earl right now, and I'm thinking about moving up. When I heard that, I said, oh no. I said he's going to start playing hard to get, and then I start looking back into his back history. He's always been very difficult when it comes to negotiations and picking opponents for whatever reason, and that's fine. That's just kind of enigmatic that he is and what he brings to the table on that front. So given that, fast forward a little bit, given that Earl is big time now, and here I go with the business of boxing. I know it's not sexy, guys, but that stuff matters. In fact, it's the only thing that matters because that's what puts on these amazing fights. That's how these guys get it. The money matters, guys. Let me say it one more time. The money matters. Everybody wants it. Everyone needs it. This world is not free. Not only that, we live in the United States of America, so it's capitalistic here. Like, you have to put the dollar down. So anywho, we all know how the PBC, their stars, quote unquote stars, superstars, make their money on the back end. They get a small guarantee up front. That's new to me. Like over the last 2 and 3 and 4 years, the small guarantees, I always figured they're getting something really big, and then of course the back end stuff. But for this situation, Spence Crawford saga, in this, they get a small guarantee, and then everything else that they've agreed upon is going to come in and go to both gentlemen. So coming over to Terrence again, he's been working with the guarantees, and I'm just kind of giving like little small specs. I know you guys know this, but to the chat as well. He gets a large whopping whop sum like up front, and he's okay with that. That's fine. That's dandy. That's cool. That's great. But here it comes to disrespect now. And this is where I almost kind of have run this into the ground, and I'm kind of over this fight because of this very reason. Folks, want to disrespect the math work on how this is supposed to go. What do I mean by that? What do you mean by that, Steph? The A side and the B side. We all know what that is, the definition of that, and who that is in this scenario. Take the names and the emotion out of it. One guy brings it. One guy brings a little bit, and they're going to negotiate and come to a deal. The A side's not going to have to do much but send or offer or accept the offer and accept pretty much. The B side is the one kind of looking for leverage in this situation. So you put those names to it. Terrence, given his back history, you know, he can say 50-50 or he can say 80-20, whatever. The A side say, cool, put your numbers up, and then we'll start negotiating from there. He does that. Oh, well, Mr. Crawford, it looks like you're on the low end, sir. No. I think whatever they offered him is more than enough, and I think whatever they offered him is better than nothing if you couldn't get what you wanted. So with all that being said, you know, I said we weren't going to get the fight. And I don't think we're going to. I hope we get the fight. I want the fight. And man down. And I like Terrence. I think Terrence deserves everything that he's been talked about, whether it be from fanatics or his peers or the people, you know, who can actually make money off voting or whatever. But stylistically, he was, to me, not going to win the fight. But even before that, since people can't even get to their little skulls about what this money situation is, I knew he was going to come into the table. I mean, he's done this almost elaborately in all of his big time fights. Take away Dongo. So, yeah.
I mean,
it is what it is,
him,
man.
We didn't see him do that when he fought Amir Khan. You know,
Amir Khan was a bigger name than him. Amir Khan, like, due respect, sir, he played the B side in that. He was not the I know Terrence Crawford is popular. I know he's pound for pound number one. He's my pound for pound number 1 and 2 and 3. However, how does that translate to dollars? When I just said at the beginning of all my little rant here, that's what matters. That's almost the only thing that matters. I don't know how Amir Khan has been able to do what he's done, but he's proven in that dollar scenario. So
but
ultimately,
just like but it's the same situation. Arrow is bigger than him.
right?
It's the same thing, and you giving this brother all of this pushback. You giving this brother all this pushback, but then when you had motherfucking Amir Khan, who's not even from this country, you didn't have a problem with it. That's my point.
No. Well, I understand. I heard that, and I understand that, sir. But let me clarify though. Let me clarify. He's proven to the fact because he generates money, sir. This is what I said at the beginning of my entire thing. Right. That stuff trumps it all. No. So that stuff trumps it, sir. I'm not talking about him, the fighter, and trying to discredit him. I'm just saying that's the math work on that. That's the math work. That's the equation. 1 + 1 = 2. That's how we got there. So if one guy is proven here, and this guy is mediocre here, we know what's going on, and that's no disrespect to whom brings little to the table.
No,
I'm just saying that off the bat.
It's the same situation. It's the same.
Right, but Arrow is popular and brings more to the table, right? We all know that, right? Okay, right. That's what I said. We all said
but that fight. But what my point is that fight wasn't. It didn't take forever to make it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
You didn't have all of this pushback, Bob Arum, and this fight got made easy with Amir Khan, and you were the world champion. But the fight got made easy with Amir Khan, but you make it so difficult to make this fight. And also, you're going to make more money than you ever made in your whole career fighting Errol Spence. But you giving so much pushback with this 50-50 stuff at the beginning of these negotiations and all of this stuff, but you didn't have a problem signing a deal with Amir Khan. And
y'all know why?
Go ahead.
Y'all know why? Y'all know why? Because he knew he was gonna beat the shit out of Amir Khan, and this is a risky ass
fight. That comes
fight.
back to your point, Coach. Yes.
because he knew
Exactly.
that he was gonna beat Amir Khan ass. So as long as my record stay intact and all my fans get to say I'm the man and I'm knocking everything out at 147, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, then yeah, I'll take a little less money. But you want me to take less money and I know I could possibly get my ass whooped? Nah, I'm good. I need as
See,
much
that's where it
money
goes
as
back to.
possible.
I'm sorry, knock out. Finish up.
That's what it was. No, I'm done. I just, y'all are both
That's when
agreeing
it
and saying
goes
the same
back to.
thing. I just want y'all
I'm
to know
not
the reason.
confident in my ability.
Yeah,
That's
man.
where it goes back to. I'm not confident that I can beat Errol Spence. This is a
I
risk.
guarantee you, if Earl Spence's name was fucking Danny Garcia, and Danny Garcia had motherfucking 3 belts right now, Terrence Bud Crawford would be like, yeah, take the fight. Yeah, take the fight. Yep. I want the
I
fight.
don't care what
I
it's
want
for.
the
I'm gonna
belt.
have all the belts.
I'll take
and I'm
4
gonna be
million. I'll take B side. Yep, make the fight. Make the goddamn fight. I guarantee you, bro. It's because of who he fighting, dog. That's all it
DP
is,
Rocker,
bro.
what's happening? Shade Girl
DP, what's
85,
up,
how
bro?
you doing? Yeah. So this is absolutely the difference. He's not confident. He's not confident in this fight that he will fucking win. He is not confident. So
And you know what, Coach? That's okay. That's okay, man.
but the
The
thing
reason why I
about
say
it
it's
is,
okay, sir. Sorry to cut you off, sir, but the reason why I say that is because I when I say I called this, like, okay, I called that. That's fine. Moving on, man. Moving on. Moving on. And
and
everyone keeps talking about.
I told everybody before this fight before I and knockout right there to witness. We've been on hundreds of panels together. I said before the Ugas fight, I said Errol Spence gonna beat Ugas, and watch how hard it's gonna be to make this fight because of Terrence Crawford. I said it. Am I lying, knockout?
No, you ain't lying. And Nunu, I think the fight is done. I'm just having a conversation. I think the fight is done, but Bud deserve as much money as he can get. Nunu, I just hope he,
Knockout.
contract and take the
Knockout.
fight. I think the fight done, but if it's not done, and he is giving him a hard time, I'm just letting you know it's because it's a different threat level. You know what I'm saying? Amir Khan getting slipped by Canelo Alvarez and then fighting Bud Crawford versus seeing what Earl just did to Ugas. It's a whole different threat level there. You might want a little bit more money, for them hospital bills and shit like that, man. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to my brother Nunu, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm with all that. It's all good and gravy. I'm with that. Let's just call it. He doesn't want to fight Earl. That's what I want to say with all my little soliloquy earlier. He doesn't want to fight Earl, man.
I don't think that's it. I think he want to fight him. I don't think he is confident as he is with everyone else that he can beat him. I think he's reluctant, and he's going to try to maximize how much money he's going to get because he may lose. And I think it's a confidence level.
But coach, one could be like, okay, why didn't you do that the last time, or the time before that, or the time before that? And when I say that, like those big fights where he made big money, where he made him rich, why didn't you stutter step there? Because of the level of threat.
Yeah, because he could win. But if you pay his ass fucking $10-15 million and give him pay-per-view money where he gonna sell the pay-per-view where he never, seen that type of money before, then yeah, he'll take the fight. I just, like Coach said, like when you walking into a situation and you ain't gonna tell nobody, you'll never tell us this, but you walking into a situation where fighters know, bro, like athletes can look at each other, they can size each other up, they see each other fight, and they know, okay, this dude got smoke for me. This dude can really like do something to me. So he know what's up. So he want to be compensated for it. And unfortunately for him, all his pay-per-views combined didn't sell as much as Earl Spence versus Mikey Garcia. So for him, he's coming from a place of you want this money, you want this check, but you don't sell like that, bro. What up, Kurt?
Another question for you too. Okay. Coming back to Errol, no one else asked for that type of money when they fought Earl Spence. Why does he get to do it? And why like trying to set him against those competitors? Like what? Like for real, man.
Undisputed. He deserved more money. It's for undisputed. None of the fighters that Earl fought were undisputed at 140 pounds. Say what you want, but he did pay-per-views without Earl. None of those other fighters ever did a pay-per-view before Earl or after Earl. Mikey Garcia fought on pay-per-view with Earl. Then we ain't seen his ass on pay-per-view again. Danny Garcia fought on pay-per-view with Earl. We ain't seen his ass on pay-per-view again. Terrence Crawford is bigger than those guys. He's accomplished more than them. He's considered a better fighter than them. He's more popular than them. And so he does bring more to the table than those guys. So he does deserve more money than him. Where I get pissed off at is if he asking for 20 million. Like, homie, you made 6 million guaranteed your last fight. You want 3.5 times more money than what you got in your last fight. I think the number need to be somewhere between 10, 15 million guaranteed, some back-end pay-per-view money, and let's get this shit cracking. But he does deserve more money than everybody that Earl ever fought. He does deserve that.
Right. Absolutely.
But Errol, now I'll come back to Errol. Let me say this before I say that. Look, man, I don't care how much money they make. Frankly, it's none of my business. I'm happy they should and they do deserve the money that they're getting. This is a very brutal way to make your money. Very, 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 very brutal to make your money, and given how this is a capitalistic world. Secondly, I would say, so come back to Errol. Like, Errol's not asking for all those types of money up front and a guarantee or even on the back end. Is that because he knows how the math works, meaning how they're going to make their money, or is it because he's just whatever?
It's because he's already happy, right? So you got one fighter that's never done business with PBC before. He don't know Al Heyman. They ain't never talked. They ain't never did no business. Then you got another fighter in Earl. He been doing business with PBC and Al Heyman his entire career. That's who he first signed with when he went pro. So when they go into negotiations, they done closed deals with Earl before. They already know what Earl wants. They already know what he's looking for. So it's way easier to get him to sign on the dotted line and get a deal closed with him than it would be to somebody you never did business with before. So like if it's me, you, and Coach, if I've been having a show with Coach for 5 years, 10 years, we done been on hundreds of panels together, and we talk behind the scenes plenty of times, it's gonna be much easier for him and I to have camaraderie to kind of bounce stuff off of each other and keep a show going than it would be for me and you, because you and I have never done business together. We got to get to know each other. We got to get to a point to where we have camaraderie, where we understand, hey, I'm the one that jokes around. I'm the one that's serious. This is where I'm strong. This is where he's strong. So that's what's going on. That's why Earl ain't got to talk about numbers and shit. You don't hear him saying, oh, he asking for this or he asking for that. He been telling them, and he been telling everybody in public for at least over a year. After I get this third belt, I want to go get this other belt from Bud Crawford. So they've been knowing he wanted to fight. So if they've been knowing he wanted to fight, they probably been done asked him, like, hey, what you want for this fight? What do you think you need to make for this fight? So they already knew all of that shit before they even approached Bud with an offer. By the time they gave Bud an offer, Earl shit was probably already done, bro. Like, they already knew what he wanted, what his split was, and all of that shit, bro. So that's why you ain't hearing shit about Earl asking for nothing, because they already know what he wants, because they've been doing business with him for how long? He been a pro? 10, 12 years or some shit? They've been doing business with that man for like the greater part of a decade. So that's why you ain't hearing, you ain't hearing nothing from Earl. But you hearing from Bud, because Bud used to them high-ass guarantees at Top Rank, and he ain't had no successful pay-per-view, so he don't know how successful pay-per-views look and how making those fights come together. And so, he doing business with people for the first time, so it's harder to get him to, sign on the dotted line, so to speak.
Right. Miss Sheena made a good point too. Then you got to deal with this. This was something else. Remember all of this? Fuck Al Heyman. Fuck PBC. Fuck them. Fuck that. Brian Bomac mouth. Terrence Crawford's manager. He had all of this shit that was going on because and that caused a lot of problems. I'm sure that caused problems. So that's something else that we have to look at. That's something else that happened. It happened, and it happened in public. You came out and fuck Al Heyman and fuck the PBC and all those fighters over there and talking shit. Why would you do that when you know that eventually you got to do business with people? We went over this months ago. So that's a whole nother thing. Now, I just want to move on because my brother Key is going to be coming on about 20 minutes.
Word.
We're going to get to Devin Haney.
That Spence Crawford stuff, man.
Yeah, it'll go on forever, bro. It'll go on forever. Tell his fight is signed and sealed up.
Yes, sir.
I want to go on to Devin Haney. Devin Haney deserved to be on this list of mine because of the fact that he's a legacy fighter now. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame. Devin Haney is 23 years old and always called out the best fighters and struggled. He had to struggle to get fights because of his skill level, and a lot of fighters know that that's a very difficult fight and won't take that risk. He has supreme confidence in his abilities, and he wants to fight everyone. And it was proven when he took a less money, went over and signed a 2-fight deal, and have to go back to Australia and defend his titles that he took from George Kambosos at 23 years old. This is unheard of, the things that Devin Haney has done. So that's the reason that Devin Haney is on my list of fighters that are fighting for legacy, and before that wanted to be a champion and wanted all the smoke. I understand that. Hey, Miss Cassandra, how you doing? I understand that his resume is not super resume. He don't have a super resume with a bunch of legacy fights, but it's not because of his own doing. It's not because of his own doing. It's more because guys see his skill level, and just like I told y'all, I see it in the gym. I see it when guys see other guys sparring and be like, man, that motherfucker can fight. Man, I gotta spar this motherfucker. This motherfucker can get it in. Fighters see what they see. They know what they know. And fighters can see that his skill level is very high. Is he the hardest puncher? Absolutely not. But he can box his ass off. And he proved it by winning damn near every fucking round in Australia. And going over to another person's country, fighting for less money than he's ever made in his whole career. Well, once he became the WBC champion and when he got the DAZN deal. So Devin Haney is on my list. And that's why he's on my list, because he's done something that's unprecedented in the sport of boxing. And he's the undisputed champion at 135 pounds. Knockout.
Man, look, he deserved to be on the list for everything you said. Look, man, anytime you take a lesser contract and you go over across seas and you become undisputed, yeah, man, you fighting for legacy. So for the sole purpose of him chasing legacy, I 100% wholeheartedly agree. As far as him wanting to fight everyone so far, yeah, man, he's showing that he want to fight everyone. So I can't knock him. You can't knock Devin Haney. He still get his ass knocked out by Tank Davis, but that's a whole different conversation. It's a whole different conversation, Coach. You know what I'm saying?
Can't say it.
We not
Coach, I'm just ruffling. I'm ruffling Coach feathers because Coach will get going. But nah, bro. In all seriousness, Devin Haney deserved to be on the list. He is truly fighting for legacy. And he's mad that I like that he's pissed off. He don't want to fight Kambosos. He does not want to fight Kambosos. He want Loma. He want Tank. He want the top guys in the division, and you can tell that he is really upset that he got to fight Kambosos. But hey, man, you sign that shit. Go beat his ass. Go beat his ass in October, and then shit. The world is your oyster. Hopefully, you get the Tank or the Loma fight or both or whatever it is that you want. Because Devin Haney is the type of people got to get behind and they got to support. As far as skills, I agree with everything Coach said. Nice jab, good foot movement, good defense. Really controls distance well. So it's a lot of things to be excited about for that young man. But most importantly, for the topic we're talking about here, he's one of the people that is fighting for legacy. So he deserves to be respected. And if you ain't gonna be a fan of his, at least hopefully you can respect the fact that he's moving solid out here and really bringing competition to the sport and really trying to treat boxing like the sport that it's supposed to be. So that's all I got on it, bro.
Yep.
Coach, what do you call this list that you put in these boxes?
This is my list of fighters that want legacy.
Right. Yes, sir. Okay. Yeah. Then again, we're all in agreement here. Yeah, man. First off, salute to Devin's father. He's built his son into a superstar, and their methodologies on what they've done to progress that young man's career. I I mean, it speaks for itself. He's undisputed champion at 135 pounds, and a lot of people think twice when they want to fight him. Yeah, that's about what I have on Dev. That's about what I have on Dev. I like Dev a lot too. Yeah.
We got
never Dev no
another
smoke
one.
either.
We got another one that I forgot to put on this list. Well, there's two of them that I forgot to put on this list.
And you forgot a lot of people. Who we got now?
Hey man, because we only got so much time, we gotta add Cool Boy Steph. Josh Sanders, you right. Gotta add Cool Boy Steph. Cool Boy Steph want all the smoke with everybody, and he wants to be undisputed. And we also
he fought Danny Ramon. He fought Danny Ramon because Danny Ramon said he was. He said, "Look, I ain't got no mandatory. We can get it in real quick. Like when you fight former unified champions, is fucking stay busy fights. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you deserve to be on the list." And he told B. Brandon Figueroa was crying. He said, "We can run it back. We can run it back if you want to." Figueroa said, "Nah, I'm gonna move up to 126." So yeah, Stephen Forson, the goddamn dog, man. He a dog. You right on that, coach.
And there's another one. We gotta give him credit. He's on my pound for pound list, and he's also on Knockout's list, but he's not on a lot of people's list. Knockout. Who am I?
Oh, I already know. Can I say it? Can I say the name?
Yeah.
Can I say that? Yeah. Jesse Bam Rodriguez, baby.
You got to put Bam on the list. You have to put Bam on the list.
Yeah,
Bam Rodriguez wants all the smoke. He's he's 2 division world champion, right?
No, he never got the belt at the lower weight class. He just went and got the belt.
Nobody wanted to fight him.
Bam Rodriguez
has to go on my legacy list. He has to. Bam Rodriguez was one of the most skilled fighters in the game of boxing. He looked like a baby face, but that rascal can fight his ass off. His skill level, he has a tremendous skill level. His skill level, his boxing IQ is through the roof. Bam Rodriguez got to be on my list. He has to be on my list.
I mean, look, you hit the nail on the head. Like people don't understand, bro. Like he moved up 2 weight classes on short notice and beat one of the 4 best people in that division. He moved up 2 weight classes and he beat the shit out of Carlos Cuadras. Then after he did that, it's like, all right, I might go back down and wait. But then they was like, say, bro, we got the hardest hitting puncher at 115 pounds ever that knocked out Chocolatito twice. His name is Rungvisai. Do you want to fight him? He was like, yeah, sign me up. Sign me up. I'll fight Rungvisai. And he made Rungvisai look like a goddamn journeyman before knocking his ass. Man. Bam Rodriguez is a serious dog. Yeah, you got to have him on the list. I'm glad you talked to him. You got to be on the list. And, you know, I had a coach and I had him
like top just 10 do boxing
a year ago. We had him top pound for pound list a year ago before anybody even knew who the kid was. So that's why y'all better sub to coach. It's like 30-some people in here, man. If y'all ain't sub to the OG, go sub to my OG, man. He always supporting me. We gotta support him too, man. If you ain't subscribed to his channel, sub up right now because he's doing this for us and he's taking time out of his afternoon. He's very busy. We gotta sub up and we gotta hit this man like button because he deserves way more viewership and he deserves way more people to be subscribed to his channel, man. Straight up.
And hit the like button. Y'all hit that like button. Bam, bro. I love Bam Rodriguez, though.
I know you do. That little dude, that can fight, man. Yeah.
But Bam is a bad boy. That dude can fight, bro. He is impressive. The things he do in the ring, most laymen don't understand it. But bro, that dude he's something special, bro. It's gonna take a special fighter to beat Bam Rodriguez at those weights. It's gonna really take.
I got him over everybody. 118 down, everybody can have who they want. I got Bam.
Absolutely.
He get up to 122. It might be some people that's too big for him, but 118 down, I got Bam, bro. Y'all, anybody can have the field. You can have whoever else you want.
Can he beat Naoya Inoue knockout?
Yeah, I think he beat him. If he can take his power, Inoue can't box with him, bro. The only thing is, Inoue gonna always have a puncher's chance.
Yeah, Inoue
he gonna always have.
Inoue can fight. Inoue can fight. Ain't no question.
He can fight.
Inoue
he can fight, but Bam's just different.
I like Bam. I like Bam. He's on my like up and coming pound for pound list. He's not on my pound for pound, or I have this thing called the champions pound for pound where like they're the champions only, but he's on the
He is
up and coming pound for pound list. You know, I just I'm actually like a big small weight guy. I love that guy. In fact, like Naya anyway is like up there with Arrow. He's probably one of my favorites to watch, no doubt. But as of late and most of the summer, I've not been big on the small weight guys. And the reason why I just asked that question again because I don't think he can beat Naya. I don't think he can hang with him. I think we just need
a
to
bigger
calm
guy.
down. We just need to, that's cool. But Nalia's got snooze buttons and put you to sleep real quick. He put down that old 26 pounder in Nonito. So, and that's his best win. That's his best win. I think long story short, the type of praise I feel like some of those guys are getting, like Javante needs that, like because he's ultimately their same size. So, and they got Naoya at the number one, and I'm just like, that's a joke. That is a joke. Jamel should be number one, but that's more on that later, and that's another time. But so I'm just a little bit like, I'm gonna calm down on my small weight guys right now. I'm not crazy because there's so many guys at 35 and beyond who need that type of who need it. And a lot of people, when I say like they need it, because some people totally disregard and disagree with me on that statement. Hell no, man. Anything those guys are doing, the guys above them are been doing that. So yeah, I'm
We
shut up now.
also have to put Jamel Charlo on that list.
He should be number one pound for pound.
Jamel
And
Charlo,
that mythical pound for pound list, he should be number one right now.
Jamel Charlo has fought for legacy. Jamel
Yeah.
Charlo is the undisputed champion at 154 pounds in the four belt era. Jamel Charlo has fought the best fighters in that division. Jamel Charlo slipped, got up off the pavement, and regained his title. He haven't missed a beat since. Jamel Charlo has fought the tough fights that we wanted to see. Jamel Charlo is on my legacy list. Jamel Charlo is a hell of a fighter. He's not ducking smoke. He want to get it in. Jamel Charlo is on my list. That's it. Knockout.
Yeah.
Man, I agree with everything you said. I ain't gonna add too much to it. Cause I know we gotta get to Rougarou.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get
So
there.
everything you
Ruger
said
was
was
fighting for
all
legacy.
Rougarou
Jamel
fight for
Charlo.
legacy.
Jamel Charlo is fighting all the top competition in his weight class. He ain't ducking no smoke. He ain't pulling the Chris Colbert, lose, and then be like, yeah, I'll rematch the guy that beat my ass if he get a belt. Nah, he lost and he went straight to the Tony Harrison fight and then knocked out the dude that he lost to. So yeah, man, Jamel Charlo is that dude, bro. Definitely fighting for legacy. Definitely belong on the list. That's all I got.
Now you laughed at Rougarou not fighting for legacy.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
I'm just yakking your chain. I love Ruger, man. I'm just yakking your chain, coach. I love him,
Rougarou
but
is on
he
my list, and the reason he's on my list is because of this. Rougarou went into the World Series of boxing. You got to give Josh Taylor. That's another one. You got to give him. Got to give Josh Taylor his props. Now, since he's been at the top, is he moving the same way? That's questionable. But Regis Prograis has fought 2 title eliminators to try and get his belt back, and they were going to skip over him with Zepeda and Ramirez. Ramirez was too scared because he wasn't confident in his skills to get in the World Series of boxing and put his belt on the line. There were 3 other champions who wanted to prove that they were the best, right? So they put their on the line and ended up Josh Taylor and Rougarou, Regis Prograis. They fought. The fight was questionable. Who won? It could have went either way. I'm not mad that he lost, but he's been trying to get fights, and people have not been wanting to step up to the plate and fight Regis Prograis. Josh Taylor dropped his belt. He wouldn't rematch Regis, which that should have happened. So now, Regis Prograis fought title eliminator after title eliminator to try to get back. Now, the reason that Regis has an opportunity to have a legacy is because he will be the only person in New Orleans history to win two titles. Two titles in a pro boxing. Willie Pastrana was a world champion. Regis Prograis was a world champion. We got a couple others, but they never been two-time champions. So that's why he's on my legacy list, and he's personally one of my favorite fighters because he want all the smoke with everybody, and it's hard for him to get fights because of what he do to people. He damaged fighters. He damaged every fighter that he fight. He damaged him. He damaged Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor's eye looked like he had a softball on it. Tyrone McKenna, he destroyed this poor guy. Guy had patches after the fight during the interview. He's broken ribs. He's a bad guy. Regis Prograis sent everybody to the hospital, and he want all the smoke. He want to fight everybody, and hopefully, when he beats Zepeda, because he's going to destroy Zepeda. I promise you, it's going to be a good fight. I'm not saying Zepeda's a bad fighter, but he will destroy Zepeda, and he will be two-time champion of the world. That is why he's on my list, because he want to fight and is not being given opportunities that he deserved. Knockout, you gone, bro? Go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, I'm with you again, sir. I'm with you again. And personally, yes, Regis, one of my favorite fighters, man. I became a big fan of him maybe midway through his career. I just everything you said. That guy really is fighting for legacy. I just wish he, when he did have his Showbox and Showtime stint, I wish he just would have just kind of sat down there, if I could be critical for a moment, just, sat and waited patiently. He seems to be impatient like me. He reminds me of me in that faction, because I think his championship moments would have came, but you skip to that tournament. Yeah, that's why he did that, and he showed out, man. And he went into enemy territory, and the championship rounds I thought got stolen from him because the second half of that fight, finally the cat came out of the bag. But Josh Taylor, I always say, swayed the judges and went inside early to the smaller guy and made it a phone booth fight, and that's why he got away with it on those cards. But he deserved that too. But I thought Regis, at least deserved the immediate rematch. But Josh was trying to make history too. He deserves to be on your list too. And just Regis, I want to say this. I want to also say this about him. Everyone always talking about, oh, he can't make weight. You can't make weight. Regis is smart, man. Everyone struggles with weight, and everyone is cutting weight. Everyone is cutting weight except heavyweight, except the heavyweights who are cutting weight to come down to cruiserweight. Everyone is cutting weight, so that's how they show their professionalism. And yes, it's unprofessional when they don't make weight, but Regis is smart for this because he knows at 147 and beyond, there are bigger and more powerful guys. So that's why he's always stayed put at 140. And I like him there because there seems to always be smoke and shit. When I think about it now, yeah, he stops everybody. He beats everybody at 140. In the Josh Taylor rematch too. I'd take Regis right now. You add a nutritionist and
That's what he did.
Get a good manager in there to tell him to sit down somewhere.
He got the same nutritionist as Errol Spence. Same guy.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's what's up. Texas. Yeah, and he, yeah. Shout out to New Orleans too, man. I remember when Katrina hit, a bunch of students of theirs and kids came over, and integrated into our schools. That was wild stuff, man. For like 4
Bay
years.
Area.
Yeah.
That's my last guy that I got on the list. I didn't talk about David Benevidez, but I'll talk about him more later. Hopefully, Regis is coming home. Well, we already know he's coming home to train for this fight against Zepeda. So I'm going to do my damnedest to have an interview with him and go live with him so that everybody can get his
Who's this?
mindset.
Who is
Read,
Benevidez coach? Oh, Regis.
read.
Okay.
No, I
I
was
see.
saying that I would I'll talk about Benevidez tomorrow, but I also wanted to talk about Shakur Stevenson. Shakur is fighting for legacy. He's just like everybody else who's in those who's in the how do I put it, in the high risk category. Regis, Shakur Stevenson, he's on my list because Shakur want all the smoke. He's also had trouble getting fights that he wanted. He finally got it and beat the shit out of Oscar Valdez. He beat Jamel Herring. And at 126, he was having problems getting fights. They were running out of the division and didn't want to fight him. So now at 130, Shakur Stevenson is on my list because of that reason. He want all the smoke. Navarrete won't fight him. The other guys, I forgot their names.
Is that right, Coach? Navarrete won't fight him?
No, Navarrete wouldn't fight him. They offered Navarrete to fight, and
I'm gonna go to his fight in San Diego pretty soon.
Shakur
Actually,
Stevens. So
it's
Shakur,
crazy.
one of the best fighters, great skills, distance control, jab, good power for his size. I mean, he's a complete fighter. Shakur Stevenson is a phenom in the ring. He's one of the best, and he's also on my list of fighters who want all the smoke, want to be champions. He's already a 2-time champion, and he's fighting for legacy. Hopefully, at some point, he'll become undisputed, either at 130 or 135. So Shakur Stevenson is definitely on my list.
You got him over Tank, Coach?
Tank is not fighting for legacy. Tank is fighting for money.
No, I know. I
That is
whoa,
the reason
hang
why
on. You know what?
It's
You know
not
what?
on my list.
Okay.
Tank
But I just want to
Davis
let you know. I just want to let you.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll let you know that I'll ask Senior personally on the Rise podcast about that. That may get a little personal, but I will ask him what is Tank fighting for. That's a good question. But I don't want to say that. But
I mean,
your show, you can say that, man.
We've had this debate over and over. Me and Knockout. We've had this debate. Me and Money. We've had this debate over and over and over. And Tank Davis is not on my list because he is not fighting for legacy. Tank Davis is fighting for money, for the prize. He's a prize fighter. I'm not taking that away from him. But he's not fighting for money and legacy. Because if he was at this time, BN, my brother, what's happening? If he was fighting for legacy, we've been watching Tank since he was 22 years old, right? He's 27, 28 now. He is not fighting to become undisputed at nothing. He is not fighting to give us the fights we want to see. He is not fighting to show that he is the best in the division. He's not doing any of that. So he cannot go on my list. My list is for guys who want all the smoke and want to fight the best. Bruce, what's happening, bro? He wants to fight, who want to fight the best, who want to become champions, and who want to show that they deserve to be. Right now, Tank Davis cannot go in the Hall of Fame. How can you go in the Hall of Fame when you don't go in the Hall of Fame for having the most?
That's harsh, Coach. That's harsh, Coach. That's harsh. But go ahead.
Okay.
That's harsh, man.
How can he go? How can he go into the Hall of Fame?
Because for starters, I look at it totally different. But I understand your point of view, sir. I hear you. But as much as you've debated this back and forth with those gentlemen you mentioned, have y'all talked and really dove into his resume? He's got a lot of good names on his resume, man.
Like who?
And then I get it. He's versatile and kind of a hybrid, but not really because he's truly a 26-pounder. But what I'm getting at is that he's fought killers. I mean, everyone at that time. I think
give me a killer.
Leo Santa Cruz. I think Gamboa at one
100
point was a killer. I think
122-pound
I'm just
fight.
telling you the names. I'm just telling you the names. I'm
Go
just telling
ahead.
you the names. Those two guys. Yeah, Pedraza is not a. He's just world level, not a killer. But fair enough.
Whoa.
Uh,
Rolling?
nah.
What
I
killer?
mean,
Go ahead. You
those
see what I'm saying?
those three.
Right now, I can give you. I
But
can give you
you can see the
who?
same for his respective contemporaries, though.
Like
Who are
who?
the killers who they fought? Give me
Who?
one killer. Give me one killer Dev's fought.
I'm not gonna
A
say a
killer.
killer.
A
But the thing
killer.
about this,
You're not gonna.
wait to listen to what I'm saying, Steph.
Yes, sir.
Devin is the undisputed champion of the world. He fought for championships. He fought to become the man in the division. He fought to be undisputed. That is a big thing at 23 years old. He took a harsh deal and took it because he believes in his skills. And Tank Davis, how can you go to the Hall of Fame right now? Just think about it. How? He's a two division world champion. That's it.
I caught looking at the comments. Man, Knockout, I already told him. I look at it totally different. But Coach has got a point. Those are valid, and it's valid. That's true. That given how everything is played out. But if Tank was in that situation, he becomes undisputed champion. No doubt.
The difference
Not a
is
shadow
this.
of doubt.
Tank could have been in that position. Tank is the money man. Well,
yes, sir. That's true.
Really,
That's
he's
true.
not the money man.
I've not disagreed with that once.
He's making the money, but the fighters who fight Devin Haney make more money than
Yeah, no. See, I was trying to, man. My computer shut down.
Hang on, Knockout.
Restarted my computer and shit. I was chilling, and then I get up here and I hear some crazy shit going on. I try to just let it go, and I let it go. Just because you make more money fighting Devin, don't make Devin the money man. The money man is determined by the amount of revenue that you generate, bro.
Yes.
It ain't got nothing to do with what fighters make against you. It's who get more money at the live gate, who is on pay-per-view.
Right. Wait, Knockout. Let me sneak in there real fast. Let me sneak in there.
That gets you in the Hall of Fame. Accomplishments in the ring get you in the Hall of Fame. Is what I'm saying.
I think the majority of top stars who fought on pay-per-view are more than likely probably in the Hall of Fame.
Why? Why you say that?
What do you mean why?
Okay, right now.
No, that's true. I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about, the big name fighters whoever fought on pay-per-view are probably in the Hall of Fame, sir.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I think it's fair. Knockout?
You think Amir Khan going in the Hall of Fame?
No.
He's a pay-per-view fighter.
I said top.
He's a pay-per-view fighter.
You know what I mean when I say top stars, man. Come on, like.
Hey, bro, you said people who fight you.
No, I said no. I'll tell you what I said.
You don't get in the ring and punch yourself in the face.
Sir. I said top stars who we all consider the best.
Amir Khan. Hold on. Obviously, Amir Khan.
Knockout. You see this? He's trying to trap me, man.
Because Terrence Crawford.
I'm letting y'all go ahead. You don't need no help. I'm just waiting to jump in on this.
Because Terrence Crawford took less money.
Davis resume shit.
To fight Amir Khan. You said it out of your
own
own
mouth.
No,
I want to cook on that too.
You said it out of your own mouth, Steph. He
Say it
took
again,
less
sir.
money because Amir Khan was bigger than him. This was out of your mouth.
No. That's
is Amir Khan. I'm asking you, is Amir Khan a Hall of Fame fighter?
No. My first initial reaction is no.
But he was bigger than, but Crawford took less money. And so it wasn't Crawford bringing in the money. You said most big guys.
But put context to that, man. That they're making money. That's an ESPN pay-per-view. Of course they're going to do that.
Shit,
That's basic integrity.
Rocky in the Hall of Fame, and Rocky ain't even a goddamn boxer.
Arturo Gati's in the Hall of Fame.
But your words were most of the big names.
Okay, let me put context to that. Let me put context to that. Let me put context to that, though, sir. Fine, I'll give you some names. What I was meaning in that, I think I know, what I meant. But James Toney, Roy Jones, Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather. The list goes on. Top stars. Right. Oscar De La Hoya. He's going like all these guys. Bernard Hopkins. I'm saying top stars. That's what I meant. And no.
A Hall of Fame resume. Be honest, bro.
I am, sir. I am.
Okay.
No, yes, but he's on his way to becoming a Hall of Fame boxer. Not right now, but
how?
What do you mean how? What do you mean how?
How? I'm gonna ask.
He's gonna continue to fight championship fights, and he's gonna also continue and will hopefully. When he gets a chance to be in there and shine with someone else on his level, and it's for all the marbles. That's how.
But has this what he's been showing us? And that is, and you asked me why he's not on my list. So is that what he's been showing us?
I think you're just being critical, but that's valid what you all said, and I don't disagree with that.
Am I supposed to be critical? Am I supposed to be critical?
Sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I hope so.
Okay.
I see flaws in all these guys. No one's perfect.
Right. Hey, you're right, Johnny Q. If Tank beats Dev, he's solidified. Absolutely.
And just like that knockout. Just like that, because
shout out to my beautiful wife in the middle. What's up, baby? Shout out to you.
Hey, this knockout.
Oh my gosh.
Can you ask the coach Coach, can you ask me the resume? Can you ask me the question, Coach? Can I get it? Can you ask me the question, Coach, please?
I'm just gonna ask you this, knockout, and I want you to be honest.
I think Tank's resume is really good, though.
Does not box anymore right now. Does he go into the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay. No, he doesn't go into the Hall of Fame right now.
All stoned and shit.
But neither does Devin Haney.
Right. Duh.
Yes,
no,
does. Yes,
no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
Absolutely.
Off Cambosis? Off Cambosis? Off Cambosis? Off Cambosis?
No. Take the name.
Well, tell me who the killers. Who are the killers? No. Who are the killers, Coach? Who are the killers?
Hold on. Let me finish. I'm going to tell you why.
Devin Haney fans, man.
Right now, if Devin quit fighting, in a few years he would go into the Hall of Fame, and I'm going to tell you exactly why.
Hell no.
He is the first. He is the first. Listen good. He is the first 135-pound undisputed champion of the world at 23 years old. Yes, he is going on that stat alone. It is what it is. On that, he is the first in the 4-belt era. He is the first.
You know what? You're right. He going into that hole off one compliment. So he like.
But what about the resume part? What about the resume part?
Listen, fame like Rocky.
He made history. He is the first 130. Tank could have did it. They would have dropped Devin like a hot potato to fight Tank. Because of Tank's popularity.
Tank ain't going over to Australia, bro. But you know what, Devin?
Why not?
Devin is going to the Hall of Fame because he became undisputed.
I love you, Coach.
According to y'all,
but when you have
stop Cambosis easy, right?
Stoned, too stoned.
Yeah, he would have stopped Cambosis. He'd been way worse.
So he would have stopped Cambosis. So that means y'all got more confidence in Tank than Tank has.
Cambosis didn't want to fight.
That's rude. No, that's rude.
Cambosis didn't want to fight, just like Ryan don't want to fight. Y'all keep asking this money, man. The only one that's fighting on pay-per-view, he's supposed to be the one to go make the fight happen. No, these dudes need to bend their knee, take that B-side ass status that you got, and if you really want to fight Tank, come holler. If you really want to fight Tank, come holler. So you can't act like he was supposed to go to Australia and fight Cambosos. Cambosos ain't worth going to Australia for. If you got a name.
Problem is knockout. The problem.
Wait, hang on, saying this, the belts don't matter. Is that what you're saying?
Right. In this case, no.
The belts don't matter now.
That ain't what I said.
No. That's let me clarify. Let me clarify. No, let me clarify, sir. Let me clarify because I'm trying to get you. Try to get you. Yes, sir. All right, I'm in there cooking now. See, what's unfortunate, about this situation is Undisputed is a marketing tool now. And I'm going to put it on Devin right now. He's still not the man. No one's calling out Devin. So to what Knockout was saying, that's what this Money Man stuff is about. Mr. Money Man. So what are we talking about? Because I'm not certainly disagreeing with you on anything that you said about Devin. He is the first, and he is the history, and that is a Hall of Fame credential. That is more than enough.
Let me ask you this question,
my brother. Before you ask me that question, Coach, I'm gonna let y'all go back and forth. Johnny Q, my brother. Kambosos did not want to fight Tank. He wanted to go fight in Australia. He said, once I get these belts, I'm going to fight in Australia. That's just like Ryan Garcia asking DAZN to be a part of the goddamn negotiations and shit, bro. It's the same thing. It's some shit that you know the A-side fighter is not going to agree to, bro. Tank not going to Australia. So when you Kambosos and you B-side ass fighter with no popularity, asking Tank to go over to Australia and saying you're going to fight in Australia while at the same time saying you want to fight Tank, you don't really want to fight, bro. You just using Tank name. Y'all got to stop that shit, man. But I'm
gonna ask you again.
Well, how does Undisputed? Well, no. Real fast. One more question for you, Coach, because it's on Devin right now, sir.
Yeah.
How does his Undisputed translate to dollars?
Let's see. In the division.
That's fair. Damn.
Hold on. In the division.
Fuck all that.
In the division. Besides Tank, who was the money man before Campbell got the fight with them? Who was the money man? Tank out.
Wait, say that again. What was the question?
Who was the money man before? Take Tank out the equation. Who is the second money man in the division?
But you talking about Dev?
Was he?
I'm sure he is because look. Hang on, Knockout. Look.
Yes, he is.
No, hang on. Because maybe this will make sense. Because I'm trying to also let you know I'm with you, sir. I'm on your side, not your enemy here. Talk about the Dev situation stuff. Look, Devin Haney is a DAZN fighter. When I say that, like, that is how he's made his name. That is how he's made his money. That's the deal him and his father's worked out to get him to this type of success on what he is today. So, yeah, he more than a money man in that sense. But yes, like, he's generated what he's generated.
When a fighter fight Tank Davis, Knockout know this answer, so I'm gonna let Knockout stay quiet now. I'm gonna ask you this question: when you fight Tank Davis compared to Devin Haney, do you make more money fighting Tank, or do you make more money fighting Devin Haney?
Maybe the last couple times in Tank they've made more, because you got to think.
Wrong.
No. Hang on. See, this is where I feel like, man, I'm just beating a dead horse when I keep saying this shit. The business of boxing, gentlemen. Tank and them make their money on the back end. He's only fought on pay-per-view so many times. So this is still
talking about Tank making money. I'm talking about
no. Yes. No, I'm talking about his opponents too. I'm sure they're making more than what they were guaranteed. So, and I just, like I said, to answer your question, probably the last two guys, Cruz and who met Rowley, they probably made $7 million, man. Just guesstimating. That would be more than the last couple guys who fought Devin, probably excluding this Kambosos crap.
Okay, I'm gonna let my brother Knockout answer this for me.
The question you just asked him, you want me to answer it?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what you're saying? Yes. People make more money fighting Devin. Fighters get paid more. But again, Coach, and I'm gonna let you and Steph go back and forth because we already had this conversation. I'm having a good conversation. That's not what makes you the money man. Getting fighters paid more is not what determines A side, B side, what makes you the money man. It's the revenue that you generate. It's the revenue that you bring to the table. It's how many people come pay to watch you fight and how many people actually go to the venue. So can we charge a price on pay-per-view for people to want to watch you on TV? Can we charge a price and sell out this arena for people to come watch you fight live? That is what determines the money man in the division.
Right.
I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let y'all go back and forth. I'm in the chat talking shit, though. I am in the chat talking shit.
Word. Back it up. You know, Coach, like...
So now,
Yes, sir.
It goes back to this now. This is what it goes back to. You make more money. Listen, you make as a fighter, a prize fighter, you make more money fighting Devin Haney. Now, does Tank make more money than Devin Haney? Absolutely. Tank makes more money than Devin. Not by a whole lot.
Coach, Devin doesn't even fight on pay-per-view.
Huh?
I said Devin doesn't even fight on pay-per-view.
But you still, if I'm a fighter,
hold
on, listen to what I'm saying. If I'm a fighter and I go and I'm fighting Tank, or I want to fight Devin Haney, I'm going to pick Devin Haney because the zone at the time was paying more money than what you would make fighting Tank Davis. Tank Davis make an ass load of money. Floyd Mayweather didn't make an ass load of money, but the opponents do not. The opponents do not. And another question is, so now if I'm gonna make less money fighting Tank, but I make
I'm really
more
not
money
sure on
fighting
that.
Devin, but I make more money fighting Devin Haney, right? So now the thing is this. This is the question. The thing is this. Do I want to make more money or do I want to make less money? But you do hear this. You got fighters calling out Tank, right? You got fighters calling out Tank. But nobody
they want to pay it.
Hold up. No, but you're going to make more money fighting Devin Haney. And fighters know fighters. We went over that earlier, right? So why do they want to fight Tank, but they're scared to get in the ring with Devin Haney? They don't want to even mention his name because they know he's going to do just like David Benevidez. He's going to come, say his name 3 times. That's it. He's coming at you. Fighters know fighters. There's a reason why they want to fight Tank. There's a reason why. But they don't want to get in there with Devin because they see skills pay the bills. Bro. And don't get me wrong. Tank is a great fighter.
That's what this comes down to.
Tank is a, hold on. Tank is a, listen.
Stop, gun.
I like Tank Davis. I think he has skills. But the thing that I don't like about Tank, and everybody that's in here in the chat and Knockout knows, the thing I don't like about Tank is the same thing I don't like about Canelo. The way they move. They don't want to show us, the fans, that I'm better than all these motherfuckers.
No, you're consistent, Coach, with that. You're consistent. And I know that just watching you throughout all the broadcasts and streams I've seen you on. So you're consistent with that, Coach. I know.
That's where my problem comes in with Tank Davis. Do I think he's an incredible fighter? He's an incredible talent. And he probably can beat Devin Haney. But the thing about it is, the way you've been moving since 22 years old, and now you're almost 28, and this kid comes in, he's 23, and he's undisputed champion of the world because he went after legacy. That's why Tank is not on my list. That's why I say that, because I want to see Devin is willing to fight the best to show that he is the best. I'm better than all these motherfuckers, and I'm willing to put it on the line. Tank is not. And is it because of Ellaby and Floyd? Yes. But is it because of Tank? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know if it's because of Tank.
And look,
we're gonna start fighting, like Knockout said. We're gonna start fighting out real soon. Because if he did resign with Floyd and he's still taking soft touches, then my brother Knockout and my brother Money Brown said they can go at his helmet. I've been at his helmet. Because I don't like, that's why he's not on my legacy list. He don't want to solidify his legacy. Does he make the most money? Fucking right he does. But he's not solidifying his legacy to go into the Hall of Fame. And as a fighter, as a football player, as a basketball player, as a baseball player, you trying to get into the home. You try to get into the Hall of Fame. You want to show that I'm a fucking champion. I'm the best. And this is where our problem comes in. That's it. But we got to wrap it up because I know my brother Key's coming on. And
yes, man, I appreciate shout out everybody. Great show, brother. Great show, brother.
Nice show.
Appreciate you hopping up, Steph. Coach.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me hop on the platform, man.
Bro,
Great
you
show,
know,
Coach.
bro, you this like home, bro. This home, bro. So, you know, I appreciate everybody who came in, man. Y'all hit that like button. Man, y'all tell people to come and subscribe to my channel, bro. I'm trying to make it get big. And hey, bro, I just appreciate all the support from everybody in the chat. I appreciate Steph for coming up. My brother Knockout 86 TV. I know all of y'all subscribe to him. Man, I appreciate everybody who supports my channel. And don't forget, on Friday nights, we have Coach and the Queen. We talk about relationships. We talk about Black love. We talk about raising kids. Something different from boxing that everybody can come and participate. Me and the Queen really want somebody to participate and give us your perspective on just life, just different things. She always come up with great subject matter. She always come up with good questions, and we just want participation and unify our community, our Black community. So I appreciate it. Steph, any last words, my brother?
Hey man, thank you for allowing me to come on your platform. It's been a pleasure meeting Knockout as well. Coach, I'm gonna be back always, man. Steady. Again, I was introduced to you by BF, so that's word. And God bless, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate it. Everybody, y'all subscribe. Like I said, get people to come and check it out. Y'all go over to ETB because he's about to come on. If he's not on already, I don't want to run into his time too much. I appreciate everybody, and remember, Glove Up Boxing, where we make them miss and make them pay, and we want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. Later.
Word, man.